G'day, guys. This is Live Theories. I've just got up. It's really hilarious. You know how it works in the world. I live in bloody Bumblebuggery, Australia, down in Melbourne, right near Antarctica. I found that Melbourne, this is why Melbourne's such a toilet block, that we live closer to Antarctica than what we do to our normal, a state in a city in our own country called Darwin. So this is Live Theories. I will put my camera on. It's WrestleMania weekend. I'm waiting for the last hour of WrestleMania night too because it's all going to happen. And we have our lovely panel here today. We have my great friend Sarah,
Yo.
the white witch of Vancouver, who's
The Witch of the West.
the wellness witch of Vancouver, who's an absolute superstar, and she finds power from the bears that walk down the back of her house. Which I wish it had. I was waiting for when I was staying with you, Sarah. I was waiting for a bear to come out. I was waiting to walk out the back door, and go, "Oh my God, there's a bear in there." That would have been hilarious, actually.
I feel like there probably was a bear in my backyard at some point. My fence is all fucked up. I don't know
Oh, there you go. There you go. And we've got our great leader, Miss Diana, from somewhere in America. I always get it wrong. I say Boston, Massachusetts. I want to say
Virginia.
So I just say, mate, she's in the USA. It's a great place. She's a great lady, and she's the one who pumps us up, and she's like the bike pump. She pumps us up every morning. She's doing a great job every morning. How are you?
Pretty early these days, yeah. With my cat and my content creation I'm trying to do before I go to work, yeah, I'm up pretty early.
Absolutely. And this is I'm Jay from Australia, best-selling author apparently, and apparently the best hype man in Australia. I keep claiming it. There's a reason why I'm saying those things, because apparently, well, during the last couple of months, we've had a couple of full moons, we've had a blood moon, we've had an eclipse, but also the energy that's been going on has been very transformative. And they go, oh, it always happens. You always look into each other, look into yourself, and look into each other and what's happening. But you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, when your vibration goes up, you still go through that transformation stage. Now, the big things will come up is what is actually applicable to you in this time. And number one for me is value, understanding my value. Number two is boundaries, which is basically working with your values. So once you know what your value is, your boundaries, and also I guess it's the transformation phase is like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Now I look at my Bray Wyatt hat. It's very, very interesting that when the caterpillar breaks through the cocoon that's been done for them to transform, it's a period of not force, but it takes a bit of time to push it through, doesn't it? It just doesn't open. It has to take time to break open, and that's what's happening at the moment for all of us. So
Yep.
there's a bit of a analogy for you. So once you're free, you are free, but you've got to wait for it to break open, and through that process, things are going to happen to show you exactly where you are going. And you got to trust this process. And when we say this on this channel all the time, but you've got to trust the flow. You've got to trust. You've really got to value yourself and trust the process, but also understand what your vibration and frequency is. Miss Diana, tell us about the life and times on WrestleMania 2 day, night 2 day.
I don't know much about all that, but speaking of transformation and the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, Jay just had his first book published. So
best-selling author.
Congrats, Jay, and a best-selling author, and that's really awesome. Everyone, some of you who have been listening to some of our other episodes, you heard some of his insight to his book. You know, is very personal to his journey. And Jay, do you have anything else you want to say about that, or how it feels, or any tips for other people who are trying to have their breakthrough? That's just a big breakthrough, and now you're that butterfly that we just talked about, spreading your wings.
I am that. Well, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you how it is, right? We've been through, like, I will be putting my camera on in a minute because I'm 7 o'clock in the morning, and yeah. Anyway, so I think the transformation process, I have to understand that you've been given these doors, and you've just got to open them. Okay, we've been through a hell of a lot the last couple of years. And you really just got to go. You just got to go through the storms and ups and downs and stuff. It's really a transformation into who you are as a person. And that book that I wrote, you just got to trust in the process of everything that's happening. It's really weird. It's really weird. The book didn't get processed until I finished that trip when I went, and a lot of pictures, Sarah, was from Vancouver and the
Nice.
Rockies. A lot of Canadian pictures.
Sweet.
I guess I got a newfound confidence in what I'm doing. And the other thing is actually, it's like a lightning bolt on the people that, I guess, the people that really are vibrating vibrating lower than you. And you just look and go, what are you doing? What, valuing your time, understanding, go, hang on a minute, this does not sit well with me or does not vibrate the same way. I'll just, you work out your own personal value. And the biggest thing is, I think, is actually trusting yourself and just walking off from situations. I've got a quote in my book that says, in silence you grow the most.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And as I said, I haven't mentioned this, but I'm actually working as a PA for a political party here. Well, this is big. You wouldn't think I'd go in there. For a political party here, which I'm actually PA for someone who's actually going for I don't know if you understand, the Senate, parliamentary Senate in the next election. So I'm actually working with them. I've actually been hosting lives and everything like that. So I found that where my strengths are and what I love doing, or where I've been told to go, I trusted the process because of all the work that I've done, and obviously we've all done. We're all different in what we're doing. So it's very hard to. It's not hard to describe. It's basically having the trust in what we're doing and what you're doing. You just got to trust the process and the lessons that you've learned and the direction that the universe wants you to go in.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with that. There's a lot of times where the universe will throw a synchronicity at you, some information at you, an opportunity, a new direction for you to look at, and you really got to like trust in that. And sometimes I know for me, the things that I seem to be the most resistant towards accepting always end up being the most beneficial on the other side of it. So if you are going through these transformational phases and being hit with mental roadblocks, so to speak, or like blocks within you, like, oh no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take that opportunity, even if it's like something you've always wanted, something that's like really speaking to you. But there's a part of you that's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll wait for the next time it comes around, or, oh, it's not for me right now. I'm not ready for that. It's more like an invitation for you to look at the parts of yourself that aren't ready for that and hold space for the parts of yourself that aren't ready for the transformation, and give yourself an opportunity to sit with the pieces of you that are in resistance towards that, because I'm finding in that resistance, if you do go with it, if you do accept the opportunity, if you do move through and accept those synchronicities as signs and flag posts to like keep going in that direction, there's so much beauty on the other side of it. But in that, there's always that opportunity to also look at the parts of you that are in resistance towards it, or the part of you that's like, nah, fuck that, that's not for me, even though the universe presented it to you. So there's so much opportunity for growth and transformation in these little signs and synchronicities that we get. And you just have to trust that even if you do have resistance towards it, there's probably something good there. So take the opportunity to move with that resistance and take the leap, so to speak. So
I do apologise for that. It's just dropping out a little bit. I've had a bad internet. I want to put one in there for you, for both of you to answer. When they put something in front of you, you've been doing something for a while, and you really have an awareness. I think. Have you guys come into a greater awareness? We always say, "Oh yeah, I'm aware," and everyone says, "Oh yeah, you go through transformation all the time and all that." But people don't realise that we are We are going up a level. Have you had a really have both of you, and you can both answer this, have you had a greater appreciation or have had a greater awareness to what's happening to yourself or what's happening around you, and you just need to say, this needs to go, or I need to go this way? It's like having this real big personal awareness that you have to go a certain way and
Yeah.
understand. Hey, those lessons that I've learned, like say setting boundaries or understanding that these say people or situations go, hang on a minute, this is not right. Have you got an absolute greater awareness than what you had 8 weeks ago? Like it's really pushing you to go, hang on a minute, there's certain things in life or certain aspects of life that you have to reassess and get rid of to move forward.
Yeah.
And then they're bringing things into your life. For example, me suddenly being a best-selling author, going, that came out of nowhere, but I did work for it, and I've got to trust to let things go and set boundaries on people and situations so I can get where I need to get to, because they're giving you these opportunities. That's creating the awareness of going, right, I've got to do that, other stuff's got to leave. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're becoming a new version of yourself or evolving, everything has to upgrade, right? And as you're upgrading, you have to release what's been weighing you down, what's been keeping you in that old identity, that old version, you know? Could be belief systems, could be trauma, could be and there's so many different levels to it, but often we'll self-sabotage to go back to that normal state because that's more comfortable, right? It's kind of scary, even
Yeah.
becoming a best-selling author. You know, it happened so quick, kind of like it was out of nowhere, right? Because your nervous system
Yes.
used to that, and that's great. It's a great thing, but how do we integrate that in and make that like the normal thing? You know, you have to keep doing that. Now you have momentum from getting that, and that's good, and you got the good feeling. You just have to keep staying on that path, and there's going to be certain things that are probably going to be brought to your attention of what else is blocking you from going further, you know, because you might even have some resistance to moving forward, like what
Oh,
do I do next, or like it almost makes you want to go back, but you can't go back because you've already left the old version.
oh,
Now you had the breakthrough, so now you're the butterfly. You can't go back to being a caterpillar. Oh wait, I made a video on this actually with exactly that
oh,
title. It was an
perfect.
intuitive message. You can't go back to being a caterpillar after being a butterfly. So that's kind of like that. So you can't go back to the
Perfect.
cocoon. You broke out of it. So it's like you have to keep going, practicing flying your wings, but you might not be used to flying, so you have to kind of like
It's
tread
spot on.
lightly, slowly integrate into your nervous system, you know, like do something, reflect, like don't sometimes if you do too much, overwhelm yourself, it's too much. So now you just did that, reflect a little bit and then keep your momentum going. Like you don't want to lose it. You got the passion, you got the little dopamine in your brain from doing it, you got the confidence, that's a boost, and it's a big accomplishment. You should be proud of yourself. So just
Well, it's a case of everyone. It's just the
baby
same.
steps too sometimes, you know. So now just keep going. What's the next best thing to do that you can grow? And but there's no rush, you know. And your growth,
All
you
right.
can grow at your own pace. You can go at your own rhythm, and that's the thing with anything that we're doing. Sometimes it's all about timing. Like sometimes we have certain things that we're going to accomplish, and we know, but sometimes you're just not in the right mental state, or you're just not in the right environment, or something isn't right. But there's another time that maybe, you know. So like use the time that you're not taking action to like reflect and like go in your I don't want to say another cocoon because that's kind of going opposite what I said,
No, I think
but go
I'll come.
hibernate and like reflect and then come out with more inspiration, you know?
Okay, how's this one? This is where synchronicities, messages, and understanding. And I'm going to throw this to Sarah because I think she's grown, especially calling herself a wellness witch. Think about things in your life and the significance in it. Now, I joke about the bear thing, right? I always joke around, but what is significant about bears? Number one, it's about connecting to nature. Number two, what do they actually? What's the message of bears do? They go into they go into caves, into their cave, like the one up near your place that I stuck my head in. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I did. In my Robin outfit, Batman thought I was crazy. But what are they doing? They're going back in silence to hibernate, to recalibrate. Now,
Mhm.
as human beings, that's what we should do, because in silence, we grow, we become better people, and we understand, and our vibration goes up. And then you find out what situations and what people have to go, and you think to yourself, anyway, people are screwed up anyway. What do you think, Sarah? You're right in you're the most intuitive of a lot of us.
Well, basically, like from what I pick up on what you're saying here is like taking that time is really important. And you're right, like and it kind of goes back to what I was saying about like taking that time to like, okay, you've got this door, it's open for you, it's ready, it's waiting for you to step through. What parts of you are afraid to step through it? And instead of ignoring those parts of you, take some time to rest, recalibrate, do some self-investigation, do some reflection, and like nurture yourself. Go back into hibernation to be able to nurture yourself, nurture the parts of you that need that nourishment, that refreshing quality of rest, and give yourself what you need before you really embark through the next layer of your journey. And it's okay to like stop and take a pause and rest and let everything sink in before you keep going. Bears, they generally have a place that they will monitor around. And then when they're ready and they've done their thing for the season, they'll go back. They'll go back to their home and they'll figure out what needs to be done for their bodies. They'll rest. They'll, hibernate, do the thing that they need to do, and
Yep.
and come back again and reinvestigate the world again. But they always take that time, no matter what, to do that for themselves and to get the rest that they need and to recalibrate their systems, which is really important for us as well, especially as you're growing as an individual, as you're stepping into new layers of your life. It's super important to give yourself time to rest, to give yourself time to recalibrate to the new energy and frequency that your actions have created. See what's working, see what isn't, see what parts are still afraid to accept that new frequency, nurture those parts, and then come back again out of the cave, a new, better version of yourself once you've done all that. So it's super important to not just keep going, keep going, keep pushing, keep pushing. Like we need that time to rest. We need that time to check back in with ourselves, let things recalibrate, let things settle in, and keep moving forward. We're trained very highly in society to just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah. And a lot of times that causes mental breakdown, that causes burnout, that causes a lot of things that are it's even harder to recover from burnout or a mental breakdown than it is to just take that pause for a week, a month, whatever you need to calibrate to the situation, right? So to not fall into society's pressures to keep going, and really listen to your body and tune into what's going on for you. See where you need that rest. See where you need to hold space for yourself, recalibrate, level up certain parts of you that aren't ready to keep going, and give yourself that nurturance that's needed to be able to make the growth sustainable.
How about, okay, Diane, I've got one for you. So situations come up in life, right? So, and then your new self is basically going, hang on a minute. And you have these revelations all the time. You go, oh, we grow. You're doing it all the time. But we have to understand that obviously the vibration of what we are at the time is different than what we've had before. So we're going to have different thoughts and different opinions and different feelings on a situation that could be the same situation we've been doing for 30 years, but suddenly our vibration goes up. And we look at it and go, what the blazes am I doing? What do you think? You've been there because you've been there. Now look at your transformation. The vibration you're at I'm going to ask you, the vibration you're at right now, can you say it's totally different to what it was 6 months ago? Yeah. And hang on. In the second part, sorry to cut you off.
Oh yeah.
The second part is there something that you've been doing for years that you've looked and gone, okay, got to get rid of it. It has to go now, and you have to actually put that back and go, thank you very much, or a person or something that you go, hang on a minute, I've got to get rid of this because I'm at this vibration.
Yeah. Definitely. That's funny. I just made a video on my YouTube that says what worked for you when you're in survival mode might not work for you now. In survival mode it could be traumatic event. It could be just living in this world, like hustling all the time. You might be just struggling to live. Like there's different things that could be going on. Survival mode can be many different things, but many people are just in survival mode anyway, living in the society because of the fast pace. So, and then trying to keep up with the cost of everything, the economy and everything. But you do find that some of the things you can't take with you. It's like you're going through this portal on the other side. That's a new version. Not everything can go. You can't bring all this heavy shit like baggage from the old self, right? And some of it's just like patterns that aren't routines that aren't working for you anymore. Like things won't feel the same. Things that used to feel good. This is what I went through with addiction. Things that used to quote unquote get me high. And now that comes at a different level, whether it could that could be in the form of relationships, it could be in the form of food. Like now it's not drugs, but it's other things, you know. And it's like things that gave me a good feeling, even if they're good like in the moment. Usually that short instant gratification, a lot of times it's not the same anymore, or I need more of something, or like it just doesn't sit well, or it doesn't give me pleasure or joy anymore. Whatever that is, that could be many different things. There is a transition period where you're in between both worlds. You're not that old version anymore. You can't go back to that old version the way the old version was living. It could even be a lifestyle, it could be your routines, it could be your belief systems, it could be holding on to emotional baggage, it could be like feelings of fear, shame, low self-worth, like all that stuff. It's not a frequency match to that new reality. So it's gonna basically feel very uncomfortable and not make you feel good when you're trying to go back into that like old behavior, because it doesn't work anymore. You shifted. So it's like, let's say you were living in a homeless shelter or an apartment or a house, or you bought a house or something. It's like going back to the homeless shelter when you've already
Yes.
bought the house. I know that's kind of extreme. So I was I had
No,
a better
that,
analogy
well,
for it,
this is
but I
exactly what
forgot.
I'm saying to you. This is exactly what I'm
But
saying.
it's like you can't go live. I mean, you can go live homeless, but it's going to be uncomfortable. So you want to go back into that spacious, that mindset, that frequency you're in to get that house. You can't go back to the old. It's like it won't resonate anymore, or it'd be like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, you feel really out of place.
Well, I'll give it to you this way, and you can both answer this. We've come into these. We always talk about on this channel about changing and growing, and everyone's seen us, and we've got opinions on things. Now we've gone through the transformation. We're moving closer to the age of Aquarius, and we've just gone through all the moon cycles and different energies to
We're
make
in
us
the
aware of who
Aquarius
we
now.
are. Right, so we've got working the way of who we are. Now we are actually going in to the first innings of our new life, and the first innings of our new life is basically saying we're not, we are actually shedding our old skin, and that's that last. As I said, it's like that last bit when the snake sheds its skin. It's trying to get the old stuff off. It's trying to hang on, get off, get off, get off. But
Mm.
these are the hardest lessons. It's like understanding people, standing up for yourself. If anything's out of balance, you have to question it. So, are you in that situation, Sarah? What do you think?
Well, just to touch on what you said about the snake, like to kind of like what Diana was saying about the if you're homeless, you can't and you get a home, you don't want to go back to the homeless shelter. A snake, once it sheds its skin, it can't fit the skin back on it. It's outgrown it. It's, the skin is still there, but you try to shove a new emerged snake back into its skin, it's not going to work. The skin's going to crumble because the snake is too big for that skin. So it's kind of like, to go on that analogy, you can't really, um as you grow, I mean, you can go and you can try, you can wrap that old shed skin around you and see if it works, you can lug it around, but it just becomes baggage, right?
Yeah.
So it's like as you move, as you grow, as you develop into um a better version of yourself, a stronger version of yourself, a new renewed version of yourself, to go backwards, it's just like you're carrying baggage, but like you're eventually, the snake is going to shed its skin again. There's always going to be a new layer to shed. There's always going to be a way for that snake to up level. And we're kind of the same way, right? Like we can hold on to these things, but if we do, it just it's just us repeating cycles. It's not healthy. It becomes heavy. It becomes like stagnant. We get stuck in the same loops. But if you're really keen on growing and learning and like stepping into a new version of yourself continuously and like letting go of the old, and you're willing to do that and shed those old layers, to be able to let go with grace is so important. Otherwise, you just end up walking around with these proverbial fucking suitcases of all this old shit that doesn't fit you, that isn't, it's just dead weight. So
Mm.
to be able to really take a breather and take scope of like what is it that you're carrying as you grow that really isn't necessary, and giving yourself the grace to like let it go gently. If you're still holding on to like those old pieces of baggage, those old bits of luggage, the old suitcases that are full of clothes that don't even fit you anymore, that you're just held on to, and like love on the parts of yourself that are afraid to let go. Give yourself the things that you need to like, feel honored, to feel held, to have those old versions of you feel held and seen by you. And then just give yourself the opportunity to put the weight down and let it go, because it's so important. Otherwise, you're going to end up at this big, beautiful new place, this new house, this new thing, but all your shit's not going to fit in the house.
Yeah.
Like, you got to
Yeah,
let go. You got to
this
let
is
go.
I think the hardest thing is, and we'll all experience it, is something we've done for years that we think is still relevant, and it could be the hardest thing you can do.
Yeah.
It could be something that you do love, but you have to look at it and go, I can do it better, and it's not working for me now. It really isn't, even though it could be the nicest thing ever. Like, it's like giving something. You have to give something up that you go, okay, this is normal. I really like it, but hang on a minute. It's not sitting well still. It doesn't resonate with the new me, but there's got to be something on the other side. So you have to let it go. And the
Yeah.
messages that you get from above, mate, nothing's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Situations happen. The universe will stick things in your face to say, right, what the hell are you doing? There's your lesson. There's always a lesson in everything.